I know it's been difficult, but we are looking forward to welcoming many people back home soon. We can get there this year. We're getting through it. We're almost there.
We will get to 70% double dose, and these freedoms will come into place the Monday after that occurs.
This provides the direction. It's the first roadmap in the country. New South Wales is leading the way.
All of a sudden, federal and New South Wales political leaders seem to have us hurtling towards freedom.
You're here! Yay!
There is talk about vaccine passports to let us get out and about, home quarantine to speed things up, and even of opening the international borders by Christmas. It will all be most welcome glimmers of hope to millions of people in lockdown and businesses barely holding on. But all this talk of freedom rather jars with what is happening right now and is in prospect. It sounds like a bit of political desperation to shift attention beyond the coming dog days of this virus.
To 8 p.m. last night, we had 1,405 cases of community transmission in New South Wales.
A number of 324 cases in Victoria.
In the end, the speed at which states and the country open up will come down to vaccination rates. New South Wales is now well and truly leading the pack on first doses. But what has become contentious this week is the question of how that has come to be. 7:30 reported on Monday night that by last month, New South Wales was receiving 45% of the Pfizer vaccines allocated through the primary care network, that's predominantly GPs and pharmacists, compared to its 32% share of the national population. Some of that was thanks to extra vaccines like the delivery from Poland. But the extent to which other states' access to Pfizer was being affected by this had not been entirely clear to most people, including some state premiers.
I signed up to a national plan to vaccinate our nation, not a national plan to vaccinate Sydney.
Data released by Operation COVID Shield since our story went to air has further confirmed the proportion of Pfizer that went to New South Wales in August through the primary care network, and how little went to some other states, particularly Victoria and Western Australia. Why is this important? Well, there's a question of equity, the promise that was made that vaccines would be shared on a per capita basis. More significantly, the acceleration of Pfizer has very real-world implications for how fast different jurisdictions reach vaccination targets, because the gap between vaccine doses is so much shorter for Pfizer.
Premier Berejiklian's in a sprint, while the rest of us are supposed to do some sort of egg and spoon thing.
It's important to note that we will hit, in all likelihood, 70% double dose ahead of other states.
It's been a terrible political week for the Morrison government on vaccines. First, questions of how vaccines were distributed. Then yesterday, the return of all the questions about why Australia seemed to be so late getting Pfizer in the first place. Documents released under Freedom of Information laws revealed the global pharmaceutical giant Pfizer approached the government in late June last year. Pfizer Australia emailed the Department of Health on June 30, offering a meeting with the drug company's top executives on its COVID-19 vaccine. Quote, particularly if the minister and/or departmental leadership, unquote, could attend on the Australian side. As the vaccine development landscape is moving swiftly, including through engagements with other nations, I am requesting this meeting occur at the earliest opportunity, Pfizer's representative wrote, attaching a letter that said the company had the potential to supply millions of vaccine doses by the end of 2020. But the documents also reveal what appears to have been an extraordinarily lethargic response from the government, which assigned a bureaucrat rather than the minister to deal with the company. This had been reported in early June this year by the ABC's Norman Swan. The government at the time categorically denied it.
You had a junior burger going along negotiating with Pfizer.
That claim by Mr Albanese is false, and Pfizer has already rejected it.
The documents also reveal the government quibbling over the signing of a non-disclosure agreement, even amid Pfizer's pointed warnings that other countries were securing deals and that the UK and the US had already signed up. Then came 730's revelations in July that senior Australian business figures based in the United States and alarmed at the slow vaccine rollout had asked former Prime Minister Kevin Rudd to intervene with Pfizer to see whether it was possible to get earlier access to larger supplies of vaccine as the Delta variant took off. The business figures had been told by contacts within Pfizer that the government had displayed a rude, dismissive and penny-pinching approach, according to one source. The government dismissed these revelations too, suggesting Mr Rudd had leaked the story for his own glory.
I had a little chuckle when I saw the story.
The Prime Minister and Health Minister Greg Hunt were reluctant at the time to answer the question posed by the story, which was whether they had personally intervened with the global executives. The government didn't secure a deal with the company until November, 4 months later. The latest disclosure has put the government on the back foot.
This is a company motivated. It says, let's move discussions quickly and we can deploy vaccines at unprecedented speed. Pfizer wanted a timeline for vaccine rollout and they got nothing back.
No, with great respect, what we were able to do, we did actually meet with senior international officials on July the 10th.
Did you meet? Have you met them at this stage?
This was done by the head of the Vaccines Task Force.
Was Greg Hunt right not to take that meeting with the global executives of Pfizer?
Well, I'll let others make those judgments. Of course, there'll be critics in the middle of a crisis, and there'll be lots of hindsight heroes, and there'll be lots of others who said this could have been done or that could have been done.
The revelations have been a rare gift to the opposition.
Pfizer indicated to the government that other countries were stepping forward. Other countries understood that it was a race to vaccinate their populations so as to avoid the lockdowns which half of Australia are enduring today.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.